But Mahesh, there must have been a moment when before you agree to do something like this, where you are opening your whole life up and you realize that you got to be honest, and everything's not going to be nice and rosy. People may not like things you say, and others may say things about you which you wouldn't like to be put out in the public domain, right? Did you have those thoughts as well?
Honestly, Arnab, I think we both heard it all. I definitely have, heard it all and much more. So I wanted to, at some level, definitely hear Leander's perspective. I don't think we have, as it comes through in the show, communicated anywhere near enough during or even after. And Nitesh and Ashwini gave us an immense amount of comfort when we spoke to them initially, that they would allow us to tell the story independently. And I think that was the beauty of it and why it's come out so well. And, after watching it now twice, I kind of, buy his perspective, because he was fed with certain amount of information, and I'm sure it's vice versa. And I definitely think we're happier for it now.
Many times you talk about healing. Are you healing through this? Leander talks about it, that whenever you broke up, you came back again and you broke up again. It was very quick. And you didn't heal. Is this about healing for you somewhere, Leander?
Yes, Arnab. This is definitely about coming together and completing conversations that were left open. This is also coming together and revisiting certain conversations that maybe we didn't have enough wisdom or enough experience at that point in 1999 to address. The one thing I love about what we've done in the last 20 months is that I've got my younger brother back. Not that he went anywhere, but we just hadn't communicated as much as we do now. And that's the fun part for me. The reason I started playing with Mahesh was because I really like him as a guy. He's very different than me. I'm very different than him. We have different perspectives on things. But there's some magic that we have. And the beautiful part about making Breakpoint is that we can even laugh at ourselves, Now we look at certain situations and we say, yes, we take responsibility for what happened, but we also take responsibility for putting India on the map, to being the first team from India to win Grand Slams, to having the world record in 24 undefeated Davis Cup wins, and to prove to a couple generations, Arnab, because three of us are from the same generation, and all three of us have grown together. And I remember umpteen number of conversations with you about how to guide my career in certain ways. And in that, I feel like what Mahesh and myself have been able to do over 2 decades is to prove to Indians that we can be world leaders as well, that we can be champions too.
Mahesh, you come across, for those who don't know you personally, in this series as the more introverted guy, a person of fewer words, who probably keeps a lot in his heart, doesn't always say things. And, I felt that came across when there's a part where, when you hear about Leander having a tumor in the brain, your reaction at that point of time was so emotional. But I really doubt if you would have said everything that you felt. You know what I mean? So maybe you carried a lot within you, Mahesh. Am I right in making that assumption about you? That because of the kind of person that you are, you're not perhaps as communicative, and hence you needed something like this to heal, to communicate with Leander, with everyone around, with yourself?
Yeah, I think so. And I still think, there's still a lot of stuff, in me. I think, like I said in the show, when it came to Leander, I think every decision I made through my career was emotional, because before we became partners, I came 5 years later on tour. So I transcended from being a fan to a friend to a partner, and then to a world beater, all in one journey with the same guy. So every decision I took was emotional. And, we look back today, I know living in hindsight is easy. And like Leander said, he wishes, at times he just picked up the phone and spoke to me. And, I currently wish that I, at times just went and gave him a hug for no reason. And, we would have probably, we made history, when it came to a lot of context in Indian sport, but, we had an opportunity to make extraordinary history when it came to the sport of tennis. And, that's possibly what we kind of lost out on.
Yeah, because you're dealing with a very emotional guy. Leander is a person who keeps his emotions on his sleeve on court and even in conversations. Whenever I've spoken to Leander, he gets emotional at the slightest instant. He completely goes into what would I say? You are smiling, Mahesh. I'm sure you know that Leander's eyes can water at an instant and you don't know what to do with it. After that,
Yeah.
You want to have a rational conversation with the guy and the guy is turning more and more emotional and there's no way he can be pulled out of that kind of situation.